I've covered for you long enough. I might sound a little rough. I'm wearing orange now and so you Scott, you could listen now, Scott. Now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. I asked you where your dad was. Where was Big Daddy? You got so angry when I went to feed the baby goat. Now Scott, now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why.
Get up.
Dad was, where was Big Daddy? You got so angry when I went to feed the baby goat. Now Scott, now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott, and now I know why.
Would you love that scary belief? You talk about if I was lost.
I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott, and now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott, and now I know why.
Hey everybody! Excited Utterance here. My name is Helen and I'm burning with rage, Scott. And I almost know why. Cause we're kind of about, I don't know, 2% through the testimony. Hello! Dali says, I'm burning with rage as well, mainly when I use the restroom. What, have you been eating curry or something? Yeah, okay. Best song. Thank you, Sarita. Thank you very much. Sax. Well, you like my little saxophones? I had them all prepared. I was all ready with the saxes. Yeah. Now, Bifrons was here early. Salvatore. He doxed himself. He doxed himself. Well, I think it's a very cute name. Cute name. Thank you for gifting one excited utterers membership, Mr. Dali Talk. Hey, that's
How are
nice
you?
of you. I'm good. So that's one out of the 25 that we need to get a new melody emoji, and we're playing today. We are playing the game today. We're in it. We also have a poll going. Not a poll like a Polish person. A poll. Because I don't know what to do next. Like I'm flummoxed. I'm just flummoxed about this whole situation with this trial because it's a really goddamn long trial. It's a long trial.
Beginning to feel
And
that way.
it is. Well, I mean, it doesn't help that we only do it for an hour and a half every week. But
True.
it goes on for a bit. But okay, so I want you guys to all think about this because I don't mind running it for like forever. I don't mind continuing running it forever. It's nice having a little chill stream each week where we all just like play the song and listen to a bit of it and laugh at Manlet. Like I don't mind doing that for like the dozen of us who enjoy it. It's fun, right? But I mean, it's going to come to a point where we're all kind of like, eh. So, do vote as to what you think we should do next because I don't mind I'm really like whatever. So we could. So what we did is we did a skip. We went forward to Rusty's testimony because Rusty's testimony was supposedly the testimony in the state's case that turned like the juror. And also, a lot of people in all the chats were saying it was those jail calls, it was Rusty's testimony that really made us feel like she was guilty. Was guilty, guilty, guilty. We're not finished Rusty's testimony, by the way, but we did hear the jail calls. So that's why we're listening to Rusty right now. So here is day 8 and 9. So we're about to listen to or watch day 9. So he's not finished. We could go back to day 6. So day 6 being where we left off, which is just after Scott's testimony, or I put some other options in. So we could go straight to closing arguments because closing arguments look fun. We could skip to the defense's case because after Rusty and Scott, I don't know how much more there is in the state's case to convict her. But people who've seen the whole trial might say, no, you need to hear this, this, and this. Or we could just watch the sentencing because that was awesome. If you've got better ideas, please put them forth in chat, guys. Please put them forth in chat. So I'm really like, it's not a complete democracy because it's my channel.
Fair.
Yeah. But I'm interested in everyone's thoughts. So vote in the poll, and I won't close the poll off till the end of the stream. Please remind me to close the poll off though, because I often forget. Now I know why. Hey AG, how are you? I already said hi to Sarita. Love you, mate. Hey, Johnny on the spot. We have basketball tournaments to complain about. Do you? Okay. Hey, who won the Formula One? I had to go out.
Mm.
You don't know,
Camelot?
right? I know AG was watching. Taint. How far is this here? Hello? Hello? You're getting out of the LawTube game. Well, that means you can stay here because, like, I'm not a LawTuber. I'm just a fake one. Right, Maddie? And you can't leave us. You can't. Say hello. Hello, Dolly. Say hello now. Say hello. Ilya. Say hello
Hi.
to Maddie. Hi.
Hello.
I didn't even know who Jeremy DeWitt is. Who's that?
He's a member of the DeWitt family.
Hey, 20th Century Fox is here. Hi. Only 2% of the testimony. Maybe we should skip some. No, I was probably exaggerating just a little bit, but it went for 3 weeks.
He's a American serial police impersonator and convicted sex offender. He likes to his MO is to work as a funeral procession escort. So like he shuts down traffic.
Okay, that when you first said funeral procession escort, I was like, what the? And then you said that, and I was like, okay, that makes more sense. Maddie, you're over it. Long story. We can talk later. We can have a little heart to heart later, Maddie. Okay, just don't do anything rash. Right? Don't get a rash. Okay. Ask Kay. She can tell you. No, I'll talk to you. It's fine. You and me. Heart to heart, mate. Heart to heart. Hope you're doing okay, Maddie. Stay strong. You really enjoyed her boyfriend on the stand. Well, he's not done yet. We're going to be watching today. This trial hasn't really excited you. But what about the sax? The sax, man. He just thinks he's above all of this now that he's sober. We're all peasants now. Oh, that's what it is. Well, Dali, are you above all of us now that you're sober?
Feels like it.
That's what you think.
Oh, that's
Totally
what's
kidding.
going on. Maddie B
Jeremy?
lost his Babu coin.
Oh, he lost all his babu coin. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, so he's in a depressive funk.
Yeah.
Can we just do all the... Well, that was always the point, right? To just do all the best bits. But I don't know what all the actual best bits are, right? So I need help with that. So I'm always happy to just do the best bits. And so therefore, like, my choice would probably be to skip to defense at this point. So probably to go over to defense and start to see what they've got to show at this point, because there's nothing really much more in state that people say is interesting. And I'm talking about, like, I've looked on the forums and things and seen what the guilters all say was the things that turned them or made them think was really interesting, and they're all on about Scott's testimony. Is it Chris, the other brother, his testimony, and Rusty's testimony? Those were the main things that happened in the state's case. So now I'm interested in what the defense has got to say. Maybe a little bit, maybe for a stream or two, and then straight into closing arguments, I reckon. And then I definitely want to watch sentencing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that sounds cool to you guys, then that probably would be enough to wrap it up. Oh, this is not working. Ta-ta. Let's finish The Boyfriend and then take suggestions from people who actually watched it. Yeah, we need Marjorie in chat. Marjorie's really helpful with this. And also Justin. Justin watched it. Where's Justin today? Hello, what did I do? I did nothing to Maddie. J-Rock, stop blaming me for everything. You two are boyfriends. It's really interesting. I love this trial. It's just long, that's all. All right, let's get into it. We're wasting valuable manlet time. Okay. All right, so the next day, so this is day 9. It took an hour for them to get into testimony. So there must have been, okay, I don't think it's arguments, because we get to see arguments, right? So I don't think it's arguments, but you can see that we're 1 hour in, and back here it was just seal, and before that clock. Look, the clock. Woo! Right. So they messed around for a bit, and then there she is with her pearl necklace. Woohoo, lady. And then Rusty wasn't ready. Rusty wasn't ready. Don't know what Rusty was doing out there, but he wasn't ready, right? And she's all like, come on, man.
You had to use the bathroom again.
I had to use the bathroom again. She's like, this is just like him.
Typical.
Whenever
we went to the old country buffet, you always had to pee 4 times.
Yeah. Okay, so Manlet's getting frustrated. They're not standing up. Look, they're not standing up, those two. Again. There's the homeless man. Oh, I need my little fire. Where's the little fire?
Waiting just a minute since we were in.
Fire. Come here. There it is.
As happens more often than not, when we call folks to come in from outside and we haven't been, while we were doing other things, then that person isn't ready to go.
Oh, burn! Hang on, wrong choice of words.
Here we are.
Hang on. What's she thinking right now? Is she thinking this? Wait. Is she
Reach around.
No.
I hope you die in a fire.
Johnny.
Why didn't they stand? 20th Century Fox, that's a great question. Fantastic question. The bald dude, the defense attorney, told her not to stand for the jury because they are peers. We do not kowtow to the jury.
Now proceed.
Great advice, right?
Mr. Barton, I remind you, you're still under oath, okay?
Yes, sir.
And Judge, at this time, I'm going to be playing Barton 1, July 24, 2018 interview with Mr. Barton. I'm going to start playing at 1 hour and 28 minutes and play to...
Okay, we go
1.5
1.5 because these people talk really, really slow. Oh. Okay, so hang on. Wait. They're going to be doing a, we're going to be listening to audio of one of his police interviews. Fun!
And it's taken some time.
Actually, I might need to turn the speed down on this then.
And it hinders the self-preservation. No, you can either be in the witness box or you can be in the...
You want to pause and have them identify.
Was that Mr. Carter, your attorney, speaking?
I wasn't sure who it was. That's what I was trying to listen and see who it was.
Okay.
He didn't
Listen a little bit more
interrupt
so you can
me.
hear.
He's ready to talk about that conversation. But I asked him this before, leading up to that conversation. Had she ever indicated anything to you? Had she ever asked, had she ever given you any inkling or any
Do you hear that to be Bobby Carter?
Yes, sir.
indication that she intended to do him harm?
No, I have never heard that. I promise you, I have never heard that.
And that's you?
That's me.
Okay.
Before we start this, do you have any questions for me about anything?
No.
Can I just say a couple of things to you?
Sure.
That's Sergeant Pope?
Hope, yes.
Because a while I get here, but nevertheless, that's just part of the business, and I want you to know that I understand your loyalty. And as I was telling him, it's quite refreshing because that's not present that much. But we did come up here for a purpose, and we came up here for this moment.
Love.
Because not only do we believe it's a proper investigative technique, but we believe it's in your best interest.
Oh yeah, it's in his
And
best
as these
interest.
things move out, sometimes they get ugly. And I think this is a situation that it might benefit you just to tell us about that. Also, I wanted to let you know what I told your lawyer, that I'm putting my name on the line too, because that's how confident I am in you and about what you're going to tell us. Okay. And through this process, we're not going to do anything to surprise you. And
Liar.
we kind of view this as you coming on our
Jeez.
side of the table. Okay.
Sounds like me
Maybe
on a date.
uncomfortable, But I think it's something that needs to be done for yourself.
I think a reluctant witness is a truthful witness.
I would say that's a very strong and accurate statement. So at this point now, do you mind to take a page and ask you? Okay.
God. Okay, sorry, but what are these cops doing? Like, do people really believe them when they say this shit? What?
I
Oh,
got the good lube for you, buddy.
I think a hesitant witness is a truthful witness. And we really appreciate that you're doing this, even though you have some sort of, like, bond with the defendant and with the suspect. This crap. We're not going to do anything to surprise you. We want to protect you. Oh, we love you. What crap?
Be prepared to. I feel the best way to do this would be just to let you tell us what you want to tell us, and then if we have any questions at the end to fill in.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Well, you don't remember when the call was, but you remember the call.
Yes, I couldn't tell you, I honestly could not tell you the number of calls, the length of the calls, the time of the calls.
Would you like some?
Would you like to just?
Oh, I like that.
start-
Lordship
I
Plus.
will tell you that I think a lot of y'all's trouble getting out of him as he's testifying from memory, and y'all know the details of his life.
I understand that. So I don't think we actually need to go through the time. I think, because I don't want you to think we're putting you in a situation where we're trying to trip you up at this
No.
point. Is that accurate,
Absolutely
sir?
not.
I want you to, could you maybe diagnose the first call that would be an interest to us, not
These guys
the
are
time or anything
class
about what
act.
I
happened.
think there was only one conversation that
That's
is
so
what you're
classy.
looking for.
Okay,
Okay?
okay,
And it was the last conversation.
okay.
And
It would be safe to say there wasn't much talking after that.
no, that was the end of the conversation.
Okay,
And is
so,
that the last time you've spoken with her? No.
I talked to her, I talk to her every day, but again, every day was just
yeah.
every day.
So in that, let's talk about that conversation that you feel was.
Probably the last minute of the last conversation, she said, Gary is in the burn pile. No, she said, he is in the burn pile. And I said, what? And she said, he's in the burn pile. And I said, do not say another word and do not tell me anything. I do not need to know.
Okay.
And that is everything,
Did you
period.
discuss it with her?
Period.
She didn't say anything about,
Nothing before,
else?
nothing since. When I talked to her after that, it was, you know, it was just like it was portrayed to y'all. We're looking for Gary and.
did she say, okay, so there was we ain't gonna get the time, so there was a couple phone calls that, that was later than usual for y'all that night. Did she say anything about anything that was going on inside the house that night? Nothing between her?
I mean, no, I mean, like I said, what we talked about, and I could not tell you any specific other than the horses were out and,
She did tell you that.
yeah, that she had been out after the horses and,
Now, I know,
You think that's why was that her excuse for calling you that late?
probably she was up, she was awake, you know, yeah. I mean, I didn't think anything about any of it until she said that, and then that's when I said,
so I want you to know that I don't want you to think I'm tripping you up. If there's anything else you know,
Oh my God,
this
stop saying
statement
that.
you just gave us, in my opinion, is very damning for her. So there's no reason in holding back at this point. If-
No, then that's what this last.
if I'm going to give an ounce, I'm going to give a pound. That was
Okay.
all of it.
That was all of
That
it.
was everything that she said that had anything to do with whatever happened.
But that's pretty. I mean,
And I don't
you
know
gotta admit
what
that's pretty
happened.
good.
Yeah,
I don't know when happened or what happened.
And here's the thing:
But
at the time that statement was made, you got to remember he wasn't even reported as missing.
I agree with you.
Right.
Me and him's gonna step out and talk.
Yeah, sure.
For a second, okay.
You want
I
us to
want you
step-
to know I appreciate. No, we're fine. I appreciate us getting to this point. Though. I'm gonna step outside and talk to him real quick.
I mean, that's your.
Just for the sake of attorney-client, our recorders are still going.
No, thanks.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of people up here that wouldn't have reminded me of that.
Wait, so is this the interview where he first said it, or is this the interview where he recanted it? This doesn't sound like the first time he said it. Like the first time he said it, when he read it out from the transcript,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like the same wording.
No.
You freaked out. Yeah.
It was like,
A surreal.
you know,
I've had things in this business that happened to me, and while they were happening, I thought this can't really be happening.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I just couldn't, you know, I was like, what?
We're not holding back at this point.
No, that's it.
That's enough.
Well, that's it. That's all there is.
I mean, did you feel like any of this was built in? Looking back on it, those conversations.
No. No, I didn't see that coming at all. And literally when the TBI showed up, I was just in shock because I was like,
Justin.
you know.
That would have been
I
a couple
love
of days
it.
after that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been, if she talked to you on Wednesday morning or Tuesday night, and they showed up at Friday
Friday
afternoon.
So one for that day. We have a specific one for that day.
Yeah, but I'll explain it. You just say which ones you want.
If you explain it to me.
All right, so we'll go into specifics. I know you don't remember. Maybe this will help refresh your memory, okay?
And I want you to know we're not trying to
to-
in the specific time because sometimes it gets muddied up in it. And well, out of curiosity, were you actually on Tylenol PM or anything like that? You were? Okay.
And Crown.
And what?
Crown.
Crown Royal.
Okay. Would you say you were intoxicated?
Well, probably had been.
Were you groggy?
Yeah.
So that day there
Because
was.
But I think he needs to make clear to y'all that this was pretty much the last thing in the conversation that was said.
That was-
So he would have had time to.
But I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to say you're lying because we're trying to build
Piece
this
of
foundation
shit.
of trust because we have had situations where we kind of caught you in.
Well, they don't want to get surprised at trial. You know, they don't want some lawyer picking up something at an angle that they've not covered with you.
You know what I'm saying?
Some lawyer.
Was there anything else? Did she say, I hit him with an axe or
No. And I told Bobby, I said, I don't know. She didn't say anything about
The mechanics.
how,
That's I want.
what, when, where,
So-
nothing. Who.
when the TBI came up here to your door? you
I
were
was in
certain-
shock.
But you were certain that Melody had murdered him.
Well, I'm still not certain, but you know,
But she had knowledge.
the indicators were
He-
now, you know, that,
I think the way you described this to me is it was almost surreal.
yeah,
Like, this is really happening?
yeah. That,
Natural human curiosity, though, tells
That's
anyone
his
that
lawyer
hears
talking.
that statement.
Yeah.
the logical next step is, what do you mean? Not, whoa, don't tell me nothing else.
Well,
So again, we're not accusing you of being a liar, but it's a hurdle we're going to have to
your
overcome.
assumption, my assumption.
You understand, that's going to be defense lawyer. The defense lawyer is going to cross-examine you about the context of that statement.
And he's looking
Can't
way out in
wait.
front. I'm going to call my supervisors when I leave here, and they're what? And I'm going to have to explain to them.
Like, that don't make no sense.
I'm going to have to explain to them your logic that I don't know. I can't interpret your logic of.
Yes. Does that make sense?
So if that's not what you said, then you did say, I did say, what do you mean? Because
I just want you to know, we view this as you being on our side of the table.
I am, because I'm on my side of the table.
Yeah, yeah.
And your side of the table is the side to be on.
They want to get out in front of cross-examination material. They don't want to be caught by surprise.
Well, and then we also, that is a very important, but we also want to be able to validate your statements, to make that, it's a.
Yeah, they're going to have to sell you as a witness to the prosecutor.
And we still have to overcome the fact that out of a 6-7 month period of phone records.
Okay, so all right. Clearly, this is the actual interview where he said that she said Gary's on the burn pile, and supposedly it was prior to anybody knowing that he had been even found or was even gone missing. Right now, I think that his lawyer is really sketchy in this. Like, I'm listening to his lawyer speak. His lawyer's just putting words in his mouth. I think that, because remember, they walked out and had a conversation. This was in testimony prior, right? So he and his lawyer walked out and had a conversation, came back in, and then this all started to come out, right? And you can hear his lawyer speaking on his behalf and going, you got to remember, this is the last thing that they spoke about, blah, 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 right? And I feel like this lawyer is trying to get Rusty off, basically. That sounds really rude. Yeah.
Thank you.
Trying to get Rusty off by having Rusty tell the cops that Melody incriminated herself. So throw Melody under the bus so that you can walk today. I don't like this. And like, Justin, I know it sounds really sus that he said to Melody, don't say anything more, don't say all that kind of stuff. But I'm sketch on this whole thing. Like, I'm really sketch on this whole thing. I feel like his lawyer got in his ear and said, they are going to put you in handcuffs today. You need to say something to put the heat onto Melody today. Yeah. I don't like it. Yeah, because he already knew she wanted him dead. Otherwise, his first thought would not be that she did it. I don't really care what he thought. He doesn't have any evidence to prove that she actually did it. So he's just throwing her under the bus because he's scared he's going to end up in a prison cell.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Records. The night that Gary was killed is still the only night in the middle of the night that y'all are talking, and you say y'all are just up talking about fucking and horses being out at 2 a.m. for an hour. I'm sorry, your 2:20 in the morning phone call was for 35 minutes.
It's a 35-minute conversation. So
Is that 2:20 y'all time or 2:20
I believe these are in Central
it's our
Time.
time.
Okay. Is it our
Justin,
time?
you just said it sounds sketchy.
These are Melody records.
They would be in our time, then, most likely. So that'd be 1:20 your time. I feel like there might have been a little bit more to that conversation. Just out of my instinct.
If I was going to tell you this, I would tell you if there was anything else. I mean,
Did she ask
this or this is the same thing.
Did she ask? Well, yeah, you're right when it's tipping the scale.
That's right.
To make the decision.
So if I'm going to step across the line, it's like being a little pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not pregnant. I'm either across the line or not.
That's
really
a great analogy.
That's what was said. And I said, don't tell me nothing. I don't want to know. So did I
don't want to know what that detective's doing to you.
So in your own words, it's, when she said he is in the burn pile, what was your assumption?
That she had something to do with him.
Yeah.
That he was dead and burning
Because that he was dead and burning up.
And you said that he was obsessed with fire.
Oh, he was a.
I don't know how that plays into this, but
I don't either.
That's well.
Always burning something.
Yeah.
Always burning something.
Yeah.
So.
you know, that crazy people are obsessed with fire.
Yeah, but the evidence suggests that.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is that's what was said, and that's what I said.
And you said something to the effect, what? When she said Gary's in the burn pile. Or he's in the burn pile?
He's in the burn pile. I said, don't say nothing else. Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Okay, so
We're stopping at 1 hour,
Oh, sorry.
41 minutes, and 4 seconds. 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 4 seconds.
Why does it keep pausing whenever I go to a different tab? It's very annoying.
And nothing else, Your Honor. All right, Mr. Weaver.
All right, Mr. Barton, my name is John Luke Weaver, and I, along with Michael Ray, represent
Sure.
Melody.
Yay,
Now,
more
I'm going to
defense.
ask you a lot of other questions before we get to this, but I really want to go ahead and start talking. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
That's better,
All
thank
right.
you.
I want to go ahead and start talking about what was just played.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's going
Ooh.
on right there, from your perspective?
I had already been back in my attorney, Bobby Carter's office, and we had talked, because I was flipping out.
Flipping out?
Yes.
Could it have been? And I'm going to, Your Honor, can I go over to the board over here?
Probably gonna be taking the mic.
Well, I'll be closer to him, so hopefully you can hear me.
To you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
As I come closer?
Yes.
All right, so you were flipping out. Can it be safe to say that you were flipping out because you were interviewed 1, 2, this was the third interview, yes?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, and then you were interviewed at least 2 times after that, but weren't you actually interviewed, were you interviewed 2 times in August of that year?
I thought there was more interviews than that.
Okay.
Yes,
So, they wouldn't leave you alone, right?
correct.
All right, and didn't you say yesterday, and this one shocked me, and I vaguely remembered it myself, but they actually brought with them a warrant. Was this on the 10th or the 24th? They brought a warrant with your name on it
Correct.
for conspiracy
Yes.
to commit murder.
I do not recall what it was for, because honestly, I really didn't look at it when it was scooted across the table to me.
Who scooted it?
I think Detective Hayes did. Not 100% sure, but I think Detective Hayes scooted it across the table, and I just slid it sideways to Bobby.
Was that this interview or the interview before?
I don't recall which interview it was.
Okay. And so conspiracy to commit murder and concealing the death of another, was that what it was for?
Like I said, I honestly, I did not read it. I just gave it to Bobby.
But you knew what it was
Well, Detective Hayes told me that it was a arrest warrant.
for you.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And they had also in these other interviews, in this interview, been talking about things like the death penalty, right?
Correct.
All right. And so you thought they were talking about you, right?
I think my name was mentioned.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it's safe to say you were freaking out. Yes?
I was,
All right.
very much.
So how did it come to pass that you and Mr. Carter decided, did you call them or they call you for the 24th? How did this meeting happen?
I don't really know how we had the appointments that we did, because I remember one time calling Bobby and say, I just saw Detective Hayes and Sergeant Pope in town.
Would that have been before the 24th or before the 10th?
Probably before the 24th.
Okay.
But that's just a guess. I just remember that happening.
All right. So, and the jury's now heard the snippet of this very long interview, but I think the word self-preservation was used in this interview. Do you remember that? Self-preservation? That's for you?
For me, I said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, did you hear that in this interview just now?
I did not hear that in this,
Okay.
but
They said it.
Did you also hear that your attorney kept saying about you being on this side of the table and not this side of the table?
yes.
All right. And then you said this is the side of the table to be on, right?
Right.
Right. Because you were terrified of being charged with something.
Beyond my belief.
All right. And so you felt compelled to give them something even if it wasn't true, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you tried to clear that up, correct?
I did.
And I think you wanted to clear that up as of roughly October or November of 2018, right?
That's correct.
But your lawyer said no.
Exactly. You're right.
He said, don't poke the bear, right?
That's exactly what he said.
That's exactly what he said.
Yes, sir.
Because Bobby Carter's job was to defend you, right?
He reminded me of that regular.
Not her, right?
That is correct.
So throwing her under the bus to save you is something that Bobby Carter would obviously be willing to do, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's back up. I just thought we needed to answer some of those questions based on the recording that was just played
Yes, sir.
out of nowhere.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go back to 2014.
Okay.
All right. So Martha Jane and your dad was still living, yes?
Yes, he passed away in 2000.
In 2014. But he was getting sick at that time.
He had had Alzheimer's for about 7 years. Had over the last several years prior to 2014 had had a number of mini strokes, and then
Well, okay, Trenton. I think that it probably was stipulated that this interrogation was allowed because it gives the jury a greater sense of what happened. His words in that interrogation were already said. So there was a transcript, and that was allowed in at on direct, and he read out, like the witness read out the transcript, and those words that he said were, like, he agreed those were his words that he said in the interrogation, that he heard the defendant say that Gary's on the burn pile on the phone at 2 a.m. Then this is before anybody knew about Gary being even dead. And later he recanted those words, like 8 or 9 months later, right? So it's a very important piece of testimony. So I think that the whole interrogation, so the entirety, and, well, when I say the entirety, the part that matters, the part about him saying those words and the context around that, I think that both parties would have been fine with that, because it shows what the defense is trying to prove right now, that he was terrified, and that his attorney was saying these things like, it's better to be on this side of the table than that side of the table, and it's quite clear that he's under some influence, not drug influence, like, I mean an influence as in terrified. So yeah, maybe it's not nefarious that it's being let in. Maybe it's everybody's choice that it's being allowed in. Hey, David. Oh, why, thank you. I'm only a fake lawyer, but you know, LawTube Plus. That's what you get around here. Hey, David. Apparently, we're LawTube Plus. Yeah. Hey, Connor Public Opinion is here. Hello. Good to see you, mate. Oh, look, you're not throwing tomatoes, you're throwing roses today. That's nice. Oh, and eggplants. Oh, good.
and whatever time this part of it started, March maybe, he had a bigger stroke that put him in the hospital and then the nursing homes, and he never came home after that.
Okay. So Melody would be coming up, because I believe the words you used yesterday was Melody was more like a daughter to Martha Jane.
That is correct.
Because Melody doesn't have a very large family, correct?
And she has a very small family.
Right. In her example, she has a number of children, but as far as cousins, aunts, uncles, all that, she doesn't really have it, right?
Right.
Okay. So she would come up and take Martha Jane to Nashville, regular. Yes?
Which is where she was when Daddy had the stroke. Her and Martha were in Nashville.
Okay. And would she take your daddy to the doctor too? Help take care of him?
You're talking about during this period?
During
or
that
prior?
period of time, yeah.
Well, yes, because if I couldn't do something, Daddy was only moved, I guess, ambulance to the hospital, and then actually she and I moved Daddy from one nursing home to the second. I don't remember how he got from the hospital to the first nursing home, but then from the first nursing home to the second nursing home, well, I think that's right. We put him in, I believe, her vehicle and swapped nursing homes. But yes, she helped in every way.
Every way. So would it be fair to qualify Melody as a caring person?
Very much so.
The kind of person that goes out of her way to help others around her?
She drove from Atlanta to Tullahoma to pick up Martha and then drive to Nashville.
Regularly?
Regular.
Okay.
And I think one time had just got back home and Martha called her and she repacked the bag and turned around and drove right back to Tullahoma.
Okay. And she would do that all the time?
Yes, sir.
All right, moving forward, so about that's roughly the time you guys started having a relationship, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. And yesterday, I mean, and you used these words, you thought they had an open marriage from everything that you saw. Gary did his stuff, she did her stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
Why did you believe it to be that way?
Oh, baby.
Because she came in with as she wanted, and most of it I heard from her, but that was kind of how I knew.
Okay, but Gary did the same thing from what you understood?
Yes.
Okay. In fact, you guys went to that wedding in 2016, Emily's wedding, do you remember?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I believe yesterday a picture was shown to you. Did you see a picture of you at the wedding?
I don't remember seeing
All right,
it.
well, I'll tell you what, I'll pull it up.
Oh, let's have a look.
Excuse me while I whip it out.
Who was that admitting through, Michael? So this wedding, you remember?
Yes.
All right, this is you in the background here.
Oh, he's hiding.
Yes.
That's dancing with Melody.
He's hiding in the back
Can you
there.
tell? I mean, it's okay if you can't.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd say
Ooh.
yes.
Okay. All right, here you are dancing
Can I
with
get
Melody
the
again. Looks like a snippet of a
number
picture
for the
shortly
right
after
one?
The last picture.
Where is
Same
he?
thing right there.
Oh, he's always in the background. This,
And you're
he's
over
not.
here, actually. Is this you right here
Yes.
in page 7 with Sherry Cooper?
Yes.
All right. So you were dancing with
Uh-oh.
other people, having a good time.
Yes.
All right.
He's dancing with other
Hey.
people.
This is you with Chad Bruce. Do you remember him at all?
I do. He went and got me a beer.
All right. And look
Sure,
like he
he
had
got me
another
a
one for
beer.
himself right there. 2 of them exactly. And is this Sherry Cooper right here?
Yes, it is.
Do we know who this person is?
I do not.
Okay. And that's you.
Ah, having a grand old time.
Prettiest face, but yes, that's
That's
Not the best
that's
moves, not around
dancing.
either. All right. So this is you right here lighting sparklers.
Yes, sir.
Is this Sherry Cooper?
I believe so.
All right. And is this Gary Farris right here next to you?
Oh.
It is.
All right. So Gary Farris, was he yelling and screaming at you at that wedding?
Oh my God! Look, there's Gaza, and there's Rusty. Gaza and Rusty together. And Big Daddy and Rusty having a grand old time lighting
Ooh.
sparklers. Isn't that sweet? And it just happened to be a fire sharing moment.
Oh, and then they formed a Golden Gate on Melody.
Very nice. But they look so happy together.
No, sir. We were all drinking, having a good time.
Well, what do you mean?
Everybody was having a good time. I mean, we're lighting sparklers together.
All right. Did y'all have
Lighting
any other conversations that day? Were y'all?
Oh, I'm sure we did, but
Yeah.
nothing out of the way. Everything was quite congenial.
All right. So he never had any crosswords with you.
Not a one.
All right. Now I want to say something about yesterday you said, well, yeah, we weren't. It's almost. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. So you're from the South, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So y'all are having an extramarital relationship.
How can
Yes.
you tell, sir?
Though you believe their marriage to be something that allowed that kind of thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, but in the South, you wouldn't put that kind of thing on the front porch, would you?
No, sir.
You put it on the back porch.
Correct.
Oh,
So
I'll
at the
say.
wedding, you didn't flaunt that kind of thing in front
Oh,
of the kids,
my.
right?
No, we did not.
But you understood.
What would
that-
you? What? Sorry, what would you put on the front
He's
porch?
not going to put it in the front porch. He's going to put it in the back porch.
Oh, that sounds dirty,
I'm just saying.
sir.
Melody's a goer.
Oh, a bit old for that kind of thing.
Gary probably knew about it, right?
Yes.
All right. So yesterday too, the state talked to you a little bit about what you thought you knew about Gary's health, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you know he had these spells? Have you
Yes,
ever
sir.
heard that phrase?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I think you used the word esophageal cancer, but is it also not reasonable if you hear somebody having intestinal bleeding or bleeding that you could construe esophageal cancer, even though you maybe never heard those words out of her mouth?
No,
Yeah, that would probably
no,
have been my
don't
term
look it
for
up.
what it was. I think I'd
No.
guess at that what it would be because, again, I didn't have.
That was your guess.
Sorry.
That was my guess.
Yeah.
But I had a close friend that had it, and he did throw up blood, so that's
So that was just kind of your thought. You know, you had a close friend. Maybe that made sense.
Yes.
Okay. And you knew he'd been in the hospital.
yes.
And you knew he would have these spells, of course.
Yes.
All right. So not a healthy guy.
No.
All right. You never got the feeling that Melody was poisoning him or anything, do you?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay. She didn't talk to you about anything like that, did you?
No, sir.
Okay. The state brought up y'all's 6-month plan, which I believe yesterday was the first time you'd heard about a 6-month plan, if Gary were to pass. Do you remember anything about that?
I remember it said when there was one of the interviews, I think with Detective Hayes and Sergeant Pope.
Okay. So what do you know about this 6-month plan?
There was no hard plan for anything, as far as ever getting married or ever even being together. But it was said, he asked a question, I believe, and I didn't answer immediately, and he answered, or he said, like 6 months, and I think I said yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just kind of talk about the nature of y'all's relationship.
Yeah.
Y'all were obviously close, and you obviously loved her. You testified to that.
Correct.
Right. But you also had another girlfriend at the time.
I did.
What was her name?
Christina Grant.
Jeez,
Christina
dude.
Grant. Y'all were pretty close too.
Yes, we are.
Are y'all still together?
No.
All right. But back at that time, y'all were.
Yes,
So you seeing 2 women.
I was.
All right. Now, and I'm not trying
One,
to put
two.
any words in your mouth or make any accusations towards you, but sometimes men have been known to say things to multiple women to get to keep both women. Would that be fair that you were doing that back then?
I've heard of that.
You heard of that? Okay. So sometimes you might say things to keep both of your girlfriends.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So
This is great.
I want to go back to that email in 2017, and this is, of course, after y'all went to Jamaica. So I guess Christina found out about that. She got jealous.
Yes.
But did Gary ever reach out to you?
Never.
Okay. And did you just knew Christina was upset?
Yes.
All right. Did you know of Gary and Christina having any contact after that?
I didn't know of it.
What do you mean?
I just kind of had a thought.
What's your thought? Can you go ahead and tell me?
Yeah, I thought that they probably got together.
You thought they got together?
Yes.
They went up to Nashville together?
I don't know.
Had an overnight trip? Have you heard of that?
Oh,
That was kind of my,
what?
where she would be disappearing, and I kind of figured that might have been what it was.
Christina was with
Because I knew
Gary?
that she had Gary's information.
Okay.
Good Lord. One round of chlamydia would take half the county down.
So I'm gonna bounce back around. I do that, and I'm sorry. I can't stay in line. The district attorneys, they've got their nice notebooks, and they're constantly in order, and I'm disordered. That's why I get to be a defense attorney. But I want to go back to these interviews over here.
Oh God, she is so embarrassed. Her
This is
turtleneck's
Bobby
getting
Carter's
higher and higher.
All the other interviews are at Bobby Carter's office.
Yes,
correct?
sir.
That's Judge Carter. He's a judge now.
Yes, sir.
Coffee County.
Correct.
And at which one of these interviews
Gonna
did
go
they
under the
decide
table
to
in a
tell you they were
moment.
going to bug her?
I don't remember. I want to say that it was probably either that July 24th or August the 2nd, but I'm not sure which one it was.
What's going on?
What do you think about that?
I was wanting to do anything I could
Where's
to
the
help.
Minnesota?
I wanted to show them. I didn't know anything. I
Good
had
Lord.
no involvement, and I would
Got a
do what I could
Protecting
do.
yourself.
Yes.
Georgia king bed here.
Staying on that side of the table and not that side of the table, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you did this.
Hey, you don't want to be where Melody is
And
right
at
now.
first you didn't do the recording on the recorder. Why did you decide to tell Melody about that?
I don't know. I just, at the moment, it was like,
You
very early
didn't.
on. I don't remember what day that was, but I had tried to use that recorder. You got to hold it up with your phone and put it this way and that way, and it was awkward. And then when I saw her, I just said, they'd give me a recorder. They want me to record our phone calls.
I do want to talk about one other thing. Going back to the 9th, right the day before the 10th of July.
Okay?
Okay. And that's when this statement about the burn pile and all that, I believe that's what you said in 2019 actually happened, right? The statement that you say that you changed the time when that happened, you say that happened on the 9th of July?
July.
Or when did that happen?
I don't know the date.
Okay.
I just know that I had gone to Martha's house and was talking to her.
This was at Martha's house.
Yes.
That's when it happened.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk more about that. But let's go back to these recordings.
Okay.
So then you start recording her on these call-yos, which is this app on your phone. Like you got a phone, you get your phone out, you call her through the app, or how did that work? Tell me how it worked.
Seemed like I had to dial, for me to call her, it seemed like I had to dial a number, and then it went through, you could hear it going through the system or something. And then when it came in, it came in as like a recording, and then you had to answer it. And
They tried to tap his phone.
didn't know which way it was going.
All right.
That's been,
Right. It's been about 5 years.
More
so
than-
more than that. Between 6 and 5 years, because you did it through 2019. So you did it for almost an entire year.
but from the latter,
Longer than that.
Sure.
of 18 till would have been June of 19.
You recorded her.
Well, they did.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But he warned her.
in all of these phone calls, because they've been provided to us, but in all of these phone calls, did she ever confess to anything?
No, sir.
All right. And in fact, in these phone calls, would she talk about who she thought actually did this?
Yes, sir.
And who are those two people?
Just a strange sore.
Scott and
Right.
Chris. Her
So
sons.
that's what these phone calls were mostly about, right? A lot of the time.
Chris
It was
who?
Part of the conversation at times, yes. I don't remember how often.
And did she show concern that the state wasn't investigating the people she believed perpetrated this crime?
Yes.
All right, and y'all talked about that a
Yeah.
lot. Of course, you also talked about the normal stuff. I love you, all those things. And that's just a very simple, by the way. All that means is everything, all of it. We're going to make it through all of it.
Yes, sir.
Because that started back when you were taking care of Martha Jane and your dad.
That's correct.
And that's when y'all first fell in love.
That's correct.
No top secret meaning to all.
No.
I don't know if I'd use the term love, but okay.
So in all those phone calls, nothing.
Nothing.
But then you said too, because I mean, you know how the whole thing looked. You went, got her. I think you got her a burner phone. That's the word he uses.
A
Yes.
murder phone?
What do you call those phones?
Straight talk.
Straight talk phone. All right, straight talk phone. Go to Walmart, get a straight talk phone. You gave it to her because you wanted to see if maybe you could get
What
something
are
out
they,
of it.
That's
Justin?
correct.
Because at the end of the day, you were dating her, and you didn't want to be with somebody that killed her husband, right?
That's correct.
That's right.
That's right.
So you did this, and in all those interviews, all those times that you were questioning her, did she confess to murder?
Never.
Who did she still maintain did this, in her opinion, best she could tell?
Chris and Scott.
Okay. Because let's talk about, can you remember some of the odd and strange things Chris and Scott were doing throughout 2018 and 2019? Do you remember any of that when y'all were talking on the phone?
She told me about some instances with both of them.
Could you tell the jury?
All that.
One time, I don't remember the circumstances, but Chris came to the house and threatened to beat her unrecognizable and stand over her grave and watch them lower her into the grave.
Okay. That's concerning. Anything else? What about Scott? What were some of the things Scott was doing on the property?
Scott stayed gone a lot. He'd go play golf, and that's what I was told. Scott would go play golf. He'd be gone. He'd come in and just explode over nothing.
On his mama.
Yes. Yes, on his mama.
Right. So he was showing a lot of anger towards his mama through 2018,
Yes,
2019. What about the assets, the family assets and the property? What was Scott doing? Can you remember? It's okay if you can't, but just what you
Well,
can.
the only thing that I know was, that Scott would come over and get a debit card, credit card, whichever it was from Melody or sometimes from Gary. Just
2018.
So mention in the credit card. So this credit card that she had from you, that goes back years, right?
Yes.
Tell the jury about that.
It started, I gave it to her, I think initially, back when we first started with Dad and Martha, in case she had to pay for something, because I think, like I said yesterday, she had to handle the septic tank people coming out and digging up the backyard and pumping the septic tank, because I was at work.
He was just an idiot.
And if there was anything that she had to pay for, she would have my credit card. But she never did have to use it even for that, but she had it for that. Plus, like I said, also that Gary had at times cut the credit cards off to her, to all of them, I assumed.
Did that to everybody in the family, right?
Yes, yeah. But that way she would have something to just not be, like being Tullahoma or being Nashville and not be able to get something to eat or gas. But again, she never did use it, not a single time in all those years.
Which I'm not saying. I'm not saying you know anything about Georgia law and divorce and who owns what in a marriage. But how about this? When you were married before,
Yes,
I think you were married for 36 years.
yes,
All right. Every dollar that you had, that was also your wife's money too, right?
that's correct.
That's how that works, right?
Hers wasn't mine, but mine was hers.
Right. But that money was also Melody's too. That she could have had access to.
Yes.
That's her money.
Yes.
Right. And she knew that, correct?
Oh, yes.
And she bought for her house. I mean, had you ever been to the Purcell Lane house?
No.
Had you ever seen any pictures of it?
Yes.
So would you say it was beautiful?
Oh, yeah, it was Southern living, beautiful.
You would say Melody pretty much bought anything she wanted for that house.
Yes,
And clothing she wanted as well, right?
yes.
So she didn't want for anything. Old Southern phrase, she didn't want for anything, did she?
That's exactly right. No, she did not.
Okay. So even though maybe Gary would keep up with where she was going sometimes, did you even know anything about that?
I think that She spent, and I don't remember the exact dollar, but it was either 25 or 35 or something like that. He got a notification.
But she still got to buy anything she wanted.
Yeah. It didn't matter whether it was $35 or $350 or whatever.
Or $3,500.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Okay.
No.
I want to talk to you too. Did you talk with Melody through all this time about just some basics of, certainly there was some concern here, but we're talking about a lady that, y'all were together. How big is she?
Whoa.
She's a little lady.
Yes.
And then her two sons, they're giants. They're big guys.
Yes, they're bigger than me.
It's getting personal.
So, and I think you mentioned some concern about that too, their size, when you were around them. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all would talk about the fact that they're so large and she's so small and there's no way she could have done this, right?
Correct.
Just from the sheer basics of this case.
Yeah.
This is going great.
I want to talk a little bit. I've done it because sometimes I get a little heated and I'm trying to calm back down. Because I don't want words ever getting put in your mouth, Rusty. I want you to be able to talk and tell the story to this jury because you were the one there and you were the one that lived it. So I want you to explain what was around. So obviously she was in custody at that point, but in June of 2019, we call it recant, but you're not really recanting. You're just trying to better explain what she said to you, right? And when she said it.
But what was said was not changed. It was just when it was said.
Okay, so just kind of better explain that to the jury because that's a lot of what this case is coming down to. The district attorney is putting their case on the words that come out of your mouth.
Right.
So I need you to explain those words to that jury right there.
She said those words to me.
Okay.
I heard them. I just, in my confusion and pressure of, I got to do something. They're going to arrest me. They're going to ruin my name. They're going to put me, line me up. It came out because Bobby didn't even know I was going to say that.
Bobby didn't even know?
No.
So that's just what you felt like you had to do to preserve yourself?
Yes.
But then you tried to explain later that, yeah, she told you about that, but that was after Gary was already found, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's in custody sometime around preliminary hearing.
I don't buy that. I think he was trying to throw her under the bus that day because he knew that he was going to be thrown in jail that day. He knew he was going to get arrested. I do not buy the I got the date wrong thing. I don't know whether she ever said that to him. I don't know whether she ever said Gary's on the burn pile to him. That could be a complete fabrication. But she may have said it on a different date, but I don't think he accidentally said the wrong date. I think he knew he was saying that date, and his lawyer too knew. I think that's all. That part's all a big fucking lie, because he and his lawyer left the room. That was all in testimony prior. They left the room and they came back in, and his lawyer, you could hear it from them speaking. His lawyer speaking a lot during that interrogation, that he knew what was going on.
Yeah.
He was talking for him most of the time. No, it was not a surprise to him. He knew what was going to be said. So yeah, this is lies.
A video or a recording was played yesterday where y'all are talking about a chess game.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, and I believe they're talking about Michael. Y'all are talking about Michael, and it just kind of struck my mind. Us lawyers, we call strategy in cases chess games. So it sounded like you guys were. Tell me if I'm wrong, but y'all are already using the language of the strategy of a case. It's like a chess game, yes?
Yes.
That's what that's about.
It was, as you put it, this side of the table and that side of the table. They're playing chess.
Okay. And speaking of lawyers, because there's been a lot of lawyers in this case, and a lot of district attorneys, and a lot of defense attorneys. Once upon a time, she had Manny Aurora, but Manny Aurora told everybody to stop talking, right?
Yes.
In fact, I think that's pretty good legal advice. I can go get out my card, and on the back of my card it says, "What tips on talking to the police? Don't do it," right? Yeah, I didn't give you my card, but I'll give it to you, and that's what it says. And that's what Melody was trying to do, was to tell you that Manny said everybody's got to stop talking. Yes?
That is correct.
That'd be
Smart.
good legal advice, wouldn't it?
I think so. In hindsight, yeah.
Because here you are, things that you felt like you just had to say to protect yourself has gotten you in front of that jury right here and her sitting right over there, right?
Yes, sir.
And going to that, in that recording about, if you keep talking, I keep pointing up at that because that's where the sound comes from. But they're recording yesterday of her in jail, and she said, oh, I didn't do this, and you said, oh, I know, honey. But if you keep talking, you're going to hang me. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
You understood that to mean with just talking, it doesn't do any good, does it? Because here we are. Has it done any good?
No, sir.
So on the 24th day
Suffer.
of June 2018, that was a lie about when that conversation happened with Melody.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I appreciate you for being honest about that. I appreciate you for coming down here and being honest, because you don't want to be here, right?
No, sir.
This has probably been the worst experience of your life, has it not?
Ever.
You're under oath right now. I remember.
What about her?
And you seem like a kind of guy that takes an oath pretty serious, don't you?
Yes, sir.
And you swore to God to tell the truth to this jury, have you not?
I did.
And right now, you're telling the truth to this jury?
I am.
And you tried to tell the truth to this law enforcement officer sooner than June the 25th of 2029, did you not?
I did.
But you didn't want to poke the bear.
That's what Bobby said.
Bobby's a dickhead. He should have told you to stop talking.
Your Honor, if I may have 1 minute.
He needs water.
I'm done. I want to talk about your guns. I want to go back and talk about the gun. Sorry. I'm sorry. We can take a break. We can take a break.
Give me half a minute.
All right. I was going to let you wrap up and then take a break. We'll take one.
How long you?
Can you make it 5 minutes?
Yes. Okay.
Let's keep going for 5 minutes.
How about this? Just let him break. Let him man break.
All right, we'll break.
Am I breaking?
Yeah.
Take that off.
Okay, he only has like
Yeah,
5 minutes more on the stand.
We're just going to sit here in awkward silence for the next 6.5 minutes.
Okay. What is he? Yeah, he might have some sort of bladder problem or something.
Wow, I was kind of joking on that, but
No, I think he actually does.
probably.
Yeah. 'Cause
Prostate's the size of a lemon.
maybe. Because he's really not on the stand much longer.
Poor guy gets up 7 times a night.
Yeah.
Got to get that surgery done.
He's a very good-looking 70-something-year-old man, I gotta say. Like, he's a cutie.
Has more STDs than
Just
Genghis
briefly,
Khan, but
Rusty,
sure.
That too.
things I missed there, but I want to clear up. So there was some talk in your cross-examination yesterday about guns, all the guns you own.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You didn't have any missing guns that you couldn't account for, right?
No, sir.
How about any guns that maybe Martha Jane had? Did she ever say she was missing a gun?
No.
All right. And any guns that you would have moved from your house, it was because of the children of your daughter or her husband?
Her husband.
Okay. But that's why things were moved around.
Well, there were no guns at their house, my daughter and her husband's house. I mean, I just didn't take guns in the house.
Because of respect for them.
Yes.
Okay. But none were missing?
No.
None unaccounted for?
No.
You let them search your property?
I did.
Okay. And let's go to your alibi. During that time period, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, in that time period, I mean, you presented receipts. I think you said you were at Walmart showing your pasta recipe. Is that right?
I went to Food Line and.
Food Line, my bad.
Yes.
Okay, so you went to Food Line.
Yes.
Food
And you're on
Line.
video. You were in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Yes.
Clear.
Clear.
And had they actually, and I don't know if they did, but it's all there. Anything you would have ever wanted to see on you would have shown you were in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Yes.
Okay.
Tullahoma,
I went to Food Line
Tennessee.
twice that day. Good.
Okay.
Detective
That was on the
Detective
3rd.
Hayes actually reminded me of that during one of the interviews.
Okay. So they knew where you were.
Yes.
All right.
See?
Anything else, Mike? That's all I have for this witness, Judge.
Correct?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may. Rosie, I want to congratulate you. Your memory has improved greatly from yesterday to today, hasn't it?
Oh, snide little.
I don't know if I'm
You
doing those
son of a little manlet. You manlety manlet. Oh, I gotta congratulate you. Your memory's improved much more today than yesterday.
Well, you called him, asshole.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Shame your height hasn't improved since yesterday.
I know.
You little twat.
Just wants the trial to finish so we can get down to the yellow brick road. Yellow brick road.
Look at her giggling. Look at this little bitch giggling. Check her out. Oh.
Oh, look at the girl in the back on the left. She's either laughing or.
Oh, look, and this one here, and this one over here. Look at this old lady over here having a little snigger. Oh, you all think he's funny, do you? You all think he's funny?
Who did you talk to last night about this case?
Nobody.
You have any conversations with anybody?
Oh,
No,
wow.
Oh, I had conversations. I talked to my daughter.
Hey, Joanna.
That was it?
Yeah.
Talk about the case?
No.
Did you...
You think he's funny?
Defense counsel was asking questions, and you were freely answering those questions and giving actually commentaries on stuff based on no evidence whatsoever. Isn't that right?
I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying.
Do you remember right at the moment, about 30 minutes ago, Mr. Weaver asked you about whether Gary and Christina were having an affair or relationship? Remember that?
Yes, sir.
And he asked you to pontificate about your opinion on that, correct?
Yes, sir.
You have no evidence whatsoever that Gary was having an affair with Christina.
Pontificate.
No, sir.
You're just speculating, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
You're just trying to help Melody, aren't you?
No, I was just saying, but that's what I said, wasn't it?
Well, you agree that they're trying to help Melody, right?
Oh, sure.
Duh.
Now, yesterday, did you wink at Melody? You didn't make any facial expressions at her?
Not that I'm
Did
aware
you
of.
wink
I
at
don't-
her?
You were looking at her about talking about that black diamond, though, weren't you?
I don't know.
Sir, a lot of questions were asked to you by defense counsel about, for example, what guns were missing or not missing from Martha James and other questions like that. And you agree with me that those are based on your word, what you say, right?
My word of what I was told, yes.
But it's based on your word whether or not to believe that. Is that correct?
I'm not following where you're
All right,
going.
let's see if you follow this. You agree with me that this jury has to decide your credibility, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming yes.
And when they ask questions about guns and things like that, you agree that your word is all that you have to prove that. Isn't that right?
Yes, I'm saying either what I know or what I've been told, or as we said, what I assumed.
And ultimately, the jury, you agree, is going to have to decide when you're telling the truth in this case. Is that true?
Yes.
But you would also agree that on July 24th, 2018, sitting for hours with your attorney, we have a recording of you saying, Melody told me Gary's in the burn pile. That's the only recording we have when it comes down to your word, right?
Yes.
What?
Nothing further.
No, that's not the only recording you have. You've got tons of recordings of him. You just only chose to play that one. Because that one fits your narrative, mate. You got a year's worth of recordings of his word. Years. And you also have, I think it was 3 other interrogations that the defense was talking about. But where are they? Right, so you didn't bring those in. You only brought in that one because that's the one you like. Would you also agree that Diet Dr. Pepper tastes nothing like regular Dr. Pepper? Agree. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was BS. I really don't like it when lawyers get up and just go, would you agree that you're under oath? Would you agree that the jury has to judge you on your credibility? Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And they just sit there and pontificate. And he even said the word pontificate. They just get all uppity like that. It's like, okay, we all know why we're here, right?
Yeah.
I hate prosecutors. Especially little manlets like that.
I know.
A little twat.
No midget.
Midget. Anyway, that was fun. Okay, we need to close the poll off. So, anyone who hasn't voted, can you vote, please? The defense could object. Well, but there's nothing to object to, like lawfully. Like, there's nothing. there's like everything he said was like technically correct. Would you agree that the
Yeah.
jury has to judge you on your credibility? There's nothing like objectionable about that. It's just lame. And yeah, it's just waste of time. I suppose it's argumentative, Mads. Maybe. But so what? The cat's out of the bag by then. I mean, he said it.
Yeah.
Maybe it just makes an objection like that that looks argumentative. It looks like you're being pissy. You can object even when nothing's objectionable. Yeah, you can.
True.
But it can make you look like a dickhead. No, and that's the other thing, Shami. No one objects in this trial. What's an objection? Objection? We can object? Really? Really?
Ooh.
Alrighty. We're gonna end the poll. 33% of people say skip to the defense case. Ending it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end. It's pretty split though. Okay, so skip to the defense case is 33%, straight to closing arguments is 27%, back to day 6 state case is 22%, or just wants to watch the sentencing is 18 or 16%. Okay. I think skip to the defense case. Yeah. I'm pretty keen to skip to the defense case. I think we'll do that. And if anyone comes along and says, hey, you missed something really important in the state's case, or if the defense talks about something in the state's case that is like, oh, wow, that sounds really interesting, we need to go see that, we can always do that.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping us. They almost always object to, you're under oath. Who's they? I've never heard anyone object to that. Really? You're under oath, right?
Oh, yeah. You can kind of.
Can you?
Yeah, because it depends on the court or the judge.
Yeah, not in this court. No one objects at this court ever. I suppose we're kind of lucky they didn't, because it went for 3 weeks anyway, and it was probably not really necessary.
True.
Meow, meow, meow. Hello, Junior. Is that Junior back there?
Oh, that just went in the window?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Junior. Yes, you saw kitty cat. All right, cool. So yeah, we'll skip to the defense case next week, and we'll see what we can find in there that's interesting.
Cool.
And we might do that for a couple of weeks, and then we'll go to closing arguments after that. Sweet. Thank you for all your input on that. All right. I take my vote about take back my vote about day 6. Let's skip to defense. Oh, sweet. All right, we've got an extra one going for defense. Love it. We're locked in. We are locked in. Cool. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And tomorrow, who knows? People keep asking me to measure the height of Bridge Guy. So I might do that. But we'll see if there's any motions or anything. I actually would like to have a look at the motion to strike death penalty, the 2 motions to strike death penalty for Brian. So
cool.
Those really interest me. So I might do that instead. So we'll see. We will see. Thank you for hanging out, and it's time for the song.
Her name was Ella. She was an Aussie. She was a fake lawyer from the future. She got on YouTube and made some live streams. The co-host is Donnie and she dances sometimes. The words are wrong, it's allowed in because she's an 803. To the attention, excited young